The devil's on the loose and he's dancing with the mummy.
Deep from the bowels of the Macabre Theater Laboratory, we bring you Macabre Cast. There is nothing wrong with your streaming service. You are exactly where you should be, where the slush puppy machine is always on and cold. Your favorite horror mag is on the rack, discreetly placed between Women's Wear Daily and Cosmopolitan. I'm your host, Dark Mark, along with my counterpart, Karis, the Little Mummy, here to bring you another episode of Macabre Cast, where we'll be dropping ours where they belong and adding them where they don't. This is a safe space for those Gen X who know the rite of passage for 10-year-olds was permission to walk with friends 5 blocks to the White Hen Pantry with our weekly allowance to buy comic books, baseball cards, candy, and a large cherry slush that was usually devoured by the end of the first block on the walk back. Newbies welcome, regulars welcome back, and worsifers, get out of here. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button and tell a friend to do the same. Even that guy who hands out religious pamphlets to trick-or-treaters on Halloween. Well, maybe not that guy. If you'd like to interact with fellow Monster Kids, follow the Facebook page Macabre Theater. It's there where you can send me a voice message through Messenger and become part of this show. A link can be found in the description of this episode. Macabre Cast episode 137 begins now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Adoro il cast macabro.
Best and worst of 2025, Karis. 5 best horror films, 5 worst horror films.
Yeah, I get it. But you didn't even see everything this year.
Well, best and worst of what I saw, anyway.
Okie dokie. Joke time. What did the ocean say to the beach?
I don't know, Karis. What did the ocean say to the beach?
Well, it didn't say anything. The ocean just waved.
And on that note, it's time for horror news. Ready or Not 2 gets a March 27th release date. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 got a digital released last week. Tobe Hooper's 1979 TV version of Salem's Lot is getting released on 4K. Romania is developing a massive Dracula theme park, Dracula Land. If all goes as planned, it could open as soon as next year. Stranger Things, Tales from 85, an animated series taking place between seasons 2 and 3. No release date as of this recording. No thank you, Dustin. And that's it for horror news. And Draven agrees. Draven the blood-vomiting bat. Children of the night, what messes they make.
And now it's time for real world horror. And now here's your host, Dark Mark.
At 1:45 on New Year's Eve 2017, using a semi-automatic rifle, 16-year-old Scott Kalaji lured his mother away from the celebrations into a darkened bedroom and shot her dead. His father then rushed to the room when he heard the shot Scott fired upon his father, killing him. He walked over his parents' bodies, casually descended downstairs, and murdered his sister, who was home from her first year in college on holiday break, and his grandfather's new girlfriend. Scott's brother and grandfather survived, but now carry this haunting memory of what they witnessed. Scott Kalagi was arrested at the scene. He was tried and convicted and sentenced to 150 years.
Boy, oh boy, you must be a big hit at parties.
You know, Karis, I understand this might be a tough concept for you to follow, but this is a horror podcast. And some people like the new edition of real world horror. Now, stop being so grumpy and pass me a Miller Lite, please. Thank you. No glass. Laura Hart doesn't like that pouring sound. I'll just drink it out of the can. You know, Karis, the New Year's show isn't like any of the other episodes.
It isn't? How so?
Well, it's really about saying thank you to all the monster kids out there who tune in week after week, especially to the Drac Pack, who consistently call in. You know, their opinions and reviews are so respected here. And no, we don't always agree, but there wouldn't be much of a show if it wasn't for them.
Speak of the devil, Scary Larry's on the line.
Is this something you could share with the rest of us, Amazing Larry?
Greetings, Dark Mark and Karis the Little Mummy. Scary Larry checking in. It's been a hell of a year for horror movies, and getting on here and giving our opinions. And I want to say I really appreciate Dark Mark letting us do so. No judgments. You know, we can agree to disagree on a bunch of movies and different things, and just celebrate all things horror. Nothing to review this week, no topics to discuss, but I just want to share my appreciation and look forward to seeing some new horror movies in the upcoming year and discussing them. You guys have a great one, and talk to you in the new year.
Thank you, Scary Larry. You are so appreciated here at the lab, and I mean, just week after week, seeing it so we don't have to. Thanks again, and Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year, Scary Larry.
Well, there seems to be a lot to look forward to in 2026. And here's a list of what's to come. Scream 7, Terrifier 4, Evil Dead Burn, 28 Years Later Part 2, The Bone Temple, Ready or Not 2, Return to Silent Hill, Mike Flanagan's Exorcist, the Coen Brothers' The Bride, a Bride of the Frankenstein reimaging, The Mummy, Wolf Creek 3, Thread, an Insidious Tale, and a Christmas lycanthrope film called Werewolf.
Macabre. Dark Marks and Conspicuous New Year's Show, brought to you by Marillax, because when you can't go, you're just less of a joy than usual.
Program is rated TV MALV. It contains strong language and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Metal Melody.
Hello, Doc Mock, Karis the Little Mummy, and all the Macabre fans listening. This is Metal Melody checking in. Hi, everybody. I just wanted to say, Mark, excellent Christmas show. Well done. I love the story at the beginning, the serial killer, horror chat, Matt, and the keeper. I saw that and I thought it was very weird. I don't want to say it sucked, but it wasn't very good. Definitely a slow burn, but definitely weird. So yeah, he's right. When it's free, watch it. I mean, it was an okay watch, but I would never watch it again. Also, Mark, The Apology was a good movie. A little bit of a slow burn also, but wow, like the ending was really good, and I'm glad that she got the story that she got, so that she had a little bit of closure there. It's been a crazy week. I haven't watched too many movies with Christmas and everything else. It's just been mental. So unfortunately, I'm not going to have too much to say right now, but I wanted to come in and say hello, and that I hope everybody had a beautiful Christmas. And I cannot wait, because tonight the next episodes of Stranger Things drops, and I'm very excited to see them. So since this will be the New Year show, I hope everybody has a happy New Year. And I hope nothing but good blessings for everybody in 2026. And again, Mark, can't wait to see you guys rock the stage in January at the Blue Ocean. Looking forward to it. Only a few weeks away. And that's it, everybody. I hope you're all doing well, and talk to you on the next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Metal Melody. I'm always very gracious when you compliment or tell me a show is good. And don't feel like you have to do that. But it makes me feel like maybe I'm doing something right. It's always good to get feedback, and you always give it. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a hectic Christmas, and now it's behind us and on to a new year. On Stranger Things, we'll get caught up sooner or later once the holidays are behind us. And yes, my Aussie tribute band, Blizzard of Oz, will be at the Blue Ocean Music Hall in Salisbury, Mass, on Saturday night on January 10th. And I hope to see a lot of you there. Some may be meeting for the first time, and others seeing once again. Have a wonderful and safe New Year. And we hope to hear from you again real soon in 2026.
Don't touch that dial, monster kids.
Yeah, you don't know where it's been.
Pipe down. It's almost time for the final thought.
Not quite, bro. Not before. Cobwebbed classics.
Ooh, yeah. Cobwebbed classics.
Welcome to Cobwebbed Classics, where I dust off a lost, forgotten, or just plain unappreciated film and introduce it to, or maybe just remind you about it, so your spooky Saturday night might run a little creepier. This week's Cobwebbed Classic is 1971's Hands of the Ripper, produced by Hammer Films, directed by Peter Sasdy, starring Eric Porter, Angharad Rees, and Jane Merrow. In East London, in Victoria, England, Jack the Ripper is being pursued by police back to his house, bringing to light for his wife that the man she thought she knew is actually the notorious serial killer. He stabs her to death, and all the carnage is witnessed by their infant daughter, Anna. We time jump to a now adult Anna, who makes a living working with her foster mother, a fake medium. But there is far more going on with Anna than swindling people of their hard-earned cash. She has a bit of her dad in her. Typical United States censors cut 16 seconds from the murder sequences when it was distributed here. But now, through the Blu-ray, you can see the film as it was originally intended to be seen. This was originally shown as a double feature with Twins of Evil. Taglines for this gem are as follows:
"The hands of the Ripper live again, as his fiendish daughter kills again and again."
1971's Hands of the Ripper is this week's
Classics.
Oh, happy day. Chicago Tina's calling in on the New Year's show.
Hey, Dark Mark and Karis, the little mummy, and all you kids out there in Monsterland.
Way cool. It's Chicago Tina.
I hope y'all had a good Christmas, because by the time you hear this, it will be Monday, so we'll be looking forward to New Year's Eve. I'm actually calling you on Tuesday before Christmas, so whatever. Anyway, I'm calling early because I'm very excited about something. And I'm really disappointed about something, too. For starters, I just wanted to say that I'm watching a bunch of things, which because I got all this time on my hands now. I'm lying. I always have time on my hands. Anyway, I'm watching a show called Fallout, which I like, and but it's on weekly now because it's on Prime, and it's pretty good. You might like that if you like science fiction. But also, I broke down this week and got HBO Max finally, because everybody and their brother was saying, you gotta see Welcome to Derry. Welcome to Derry is the best show. You're not gonna believe how great it is, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I watched the first 7 episodes, and I'm gonna watch the 8th one tonight, and I wasn't really impressed. I liked the It movies. I know that Mark didn't, but I liked both the It 1 and It 2. I saw them in the movie theaters, and I liked them. But I don't know, maybe it's just because I knew too much about the show before I watched it. I was disappointed because it was really hyped up, and you know what they say, don't believe the hype. But anyway, the reason I'm calling though is because just by serendipity, I happened to stumble upon Castle Rock today. And that first episode of Castle Rock, I liked better than the whole season of Welcome to Derry. I think that show is probably going to be my new favorite show. I hope. I don't know how the second episode's going to be, but I'm really excited about that and I'm not telling anybody anything about it, but it's just a really good show if you're a Stephen King fan. And that's why I'm calling early, because I was actually going to call you at home, Mark. But, I know how this generation is, and you don't make phone calls without texting first and making sure it's okay to make that phone call. So I don't have time for all that. Anyway, so I hope you guys have a very happy New Year. Oh, and there's another good show out there that if anybody's interested. Oh, I already said that, Fallout. I don't know if I mentioned that in the beginning, but because I'm just like blah, 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 blah. Anyway, have a happy New Year and Merry Christmas for real, because it is before Christmas. And I'll talk to you guys in the new year. Bye-bye.
I'm going to take a shot in the dark here and say that you didn't like Welcome to Derry because of that opening scene with the birthing. But that's just a guess. Castle Rock, I think I watched 3 episodes in season 1. It seemed very convoluted. I couldn't get into it, and I never watched another thing. I do like them taking things about characters and situations from different King stories and kind of tying them together. I think that's neat, but I just really couldn't follow it, and it didn't care much for it.
Why don't you suggest another winner tour like, I don't know, Midsummer? That went over real well.
Karis, why don't you make yourself useful and pass me another Miller Lite, please? Thank you. Well, if anything, you didn't like Welcome to Derry, but I believe Mike Flanagan is putting out a Carrie series. And I'm not sure where that's going to be. I don't know if that's a HBO Max or Netflix. Seems like Mike Flanagan does a lot of things for Netflix. But he's working on the series Carrie, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. And also, I think that isn't he working on Dark Tower or something too? I thought I had heard something like that anyway. But have a wonderful New Year's. Look forward to 2026 and all the new horror films out there. Great hearing from you as always, Chicago Tina. See you next year.
Dark Marks and Conspicuous New Year's Show, brought to you by Imodium, because when you say stop, mean it.
So my plan this New Year's show was to do a 5 best of 2025 horror films and 5 worst. And I got to tell you, the best were easy to come up with, which I guess is a good thing. And the worst was tough. I only have 3 worst. So why don't I start with what I felt were the 3 worst? And when I say worst, these weren't bottom of the barrel bad. They were just out of everything I've seen, which wasn't as a whole lot, but out of what I've seen, I felt they were subpar. Here are my 5 worst. Black Phone 2, Death of a Unicorn, I just thought was kind of wonky, and Night of the Reaper, my 5 best, and in no particular order. This is not ranked. It's just the 5 best. Ugly Stepsister, The Monkey, Dangerous Animals, VHS Halloween, and surprisingly, Clown in a Cornfield, which I thought was a lot of fun. Those are my 5 best. The Monkey, Ugly Stepsister, Dangerous Animals, VHS Halloween, and Clown in the Cornfield. And my runners-up were Weapons and Frankenstein. I know a lot of people would probably put Weapons right up there. Oh, and 28 Years Later. Those are my 3 runners-up. Looking forward to 2026 and hoping there are even far better horror movies coming. And from the list I gave earlier, it sounds like there are. So there's a lot to look forward to.
Goditi questo episodio de Cast Macabro.
Thank you, Maria Monstalia, for telling our Italian friends to enjoy this episode of Macabre Cast. So every New Year's Eve, we hear this song that you hear playing behind me. The general meaning behind the lyrics is, should old friends and past times be forgotten? The rhetorical question is used to argue against forgetting. Simply put, why would we ever forget old friends? If you've been wronged or hurt, well, we're not talking about them, are we? I said friends. Good times, not bad. So raise a glass. And it doesn't have to be alcohol, you know. Raise a cup of kindness. Reminisce with me past times as we move forward into a new year. Maybe 2025 wasn't your year, and that's okay. It wasn't for a lot of people. But trust me, when I tell you, Monster Kids, your year is on the horizon. This is your time to shine. You're already so bright, I've got my sunglasses on. Shine on and shine bright. And join me in 2026 for Macabre Cast. Happy New Year. Welcome, welcome. Better days. Ghoul night. Beware the moon. Keep clear of the moors. But most of all, remember, be good to yourself. This is Dark Mark signing off. See you soon, I hope.
This is a Macabre Theater production.
Subscribe us.